Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and more good news coming out of the pro scene for Magic the Gathering. 24 different artists, and probably more coming in the future, have signed an open letter, I guess since it's open like to the community, but also sort of at Channel Fireball. Channel Fireball is the only host of GPs and PTs, by the way. As far as I know, that's true, so that's why it's directed at them. So I'm just going to read it in its entirety because it is very self-explanatory. As is the title of this video. Dear Magic players, grinders, professional players, and fans who love Magic's award-winning artwork, we regret to inform you that we are boycotting all Magic Fest events in 2019 due to the continued changes made by the Channel Fireball organization. By the way, CFB is terrible at running events. That's my short summary of what could be an entire video. Prices are going up, attendance is going down over the long term, and nobody has anything nice to say about certain portions of their events. Also, they do nothing about cheating, and the Channel Fireball team themselves cheats, so whatever. Anyway, the letter goes on to say, art is a core pillar of Magic the Gathering. It is highly valued for its impact on the game, the story, and the community. The fantastical art of Magic brings the multiverse to life, capturing the minds of fans and inspiring cosplayers, storytellers, and artists. Well, clearly that was a Desolator Magic story parody shoutout. For many, it is the thing which captured our interest in the first place. Art is the beating heart of the game we love, and along with the rich mechanics and passionate community, helps to make it great. Except for all the fat, ugly, manly-looking feminist, pirates in Ixalan, nobody was really feeling that artwork, so it's not universal, by the way. Some people have some beef with, I'd say, the art, not the artist, because I'm sure Wizards told them, hey, draw an ugly fat woman. But anyway, it ain't as peachy as they're making it out to be. Let's just throw that out there. Behind this art are the people who work tirelessly to create the finest illustrations they can in order to do right by the long history of the game. For most of us, this is a full-time gig, and we are incredibly proud of our role in shaping something so important to so many people. Some artists choose to take time out of their busy schedules in order to attend a Grand Prix, often traveling long distances to do so. The primary reason we do this is not for profit, but rather as a way to connect with the community. Keep that line in mind, it's going to come up later. We are not paid to attend these events. Instead, this is a rare chance to get out of the office. Who the hell works in an office if they're an artist? And spend some time with like-minded people, sign some cards, and to share our experiences with fans and friends. The opportunity to sell our work directly is, of course, an element which adds to the appeal of attending. It's far more enjoyable to sell prints or playmats to people in person, and have a conversation, for example. I assume they mean as opposed to just over the internet or on their own, fan site or whatever, or eBay. But in the past, it has always been a bonus as we were reimbursed for many of the costs incurred during travel and generally treated well by the tournament organizers. This all changed when we began to be viewed as vendors rather than guests. Maybe it's because a lot of you were making a mountain of money and people complained about the prices. That might have something to do with it. Support dropped sharply. Gee, I wonder why. Like, it's sharply and abruptly. I wonder if there was something behind that. Anyway, travel was no longer funded and services slowly started to erode. Let me just throw in, that's because they started all acting like vendors. It was all about money. Prices went up. I mean, I'm not saying this is universal, but I think the whole support dropped sharply thing, it wasn't just because they felt like it. Let's put it that way. I think they were like, you're a guest and you're walking out of here with a couple grand. You're a vendor. So they started to treat them like vendors. So I'm not on one side or the other of this. I'm kind of on neither side. I have issues with what both of them are saying. So with that said, let's proceed. So the financial burden was passed on to us and subsequently on to the people attending. There is a misconception that every artist who attends a GP walks away with money to burn, but unfortunately this is far from the truth. Many of us barely break even and frequently make losses. I assume I was supposed to say take losses now that our overall costs have increased. I mean, they're completely right there. I mean, if they went from, oh, we'll pay for your hotel and travel and everything, just be our guest, we'll give you a free thing, this will cost you basically zero. Now it's like, well, you better be selling something at your booth and be able to, bring a bunch of stuff to sell and sign and whatever and, have people pay for signed cards. Because if you don't, damn, this is going to be a $2,000 vacation, bro. I mean, those hotels are $100 to $200 a night in some places. I mean, an international flight, add that to it. Ooh, this is expensive. All that out of pocket? I mean, now they force the artist to be like, you have to be selling something. It better be successful. and you get to play salesman for like 3 days. That is kind of cold, but still on the flip side, I think what triggered it, and it's not like I've heard a statement from, CFB staff or anything, just, the writing on the wall and the rumor between, people I've talked to is basically every single artist was like, I'm a guest, how wonderful, yay, free vendor booth, money, money, money. Like, that's the way they saw it, even though, like, that statement says many of them barely break even. They're just selling stuff to try to pay for intangibles or parking at the airport or, the fact that they're not working that whole weekend or making any money. Like, I get it, but some of them prices for some stuff, wow. I mean, they were getting up there. I think a couple CFB staff members maybe walked around and said, look at all these vendor prices, or artist prices. What the hell's the difference for some of these, prints and copies aside, asking this, and this for that. Like, what the hell? That on top of a complete free ride. And so they just cut it. Like, that's my version of what I heard. So could they both be wrong? Yeah. Could they both be right in some cases with some individual artists taking advantage of people who want to pay way too much for stuff? That's maybe not the best way to phrase it. Taking advantage of getting a booth for free, maybe? Or just being greedy assholes? How about that? That's a pretty good blanket statement. And maybe they ruined it for everybody. So I think, yeah, both sides aren't really quite right about this. So on top of the additional financial burden, we are often asked to host art classes. This is where it gets weird. Seminars and workshops without compensation. I would not do that. I mean, free travel, free ticket, I would, but they've now dropped that. So it's like on top of that, now they also still expect you to like host something just because they gave you a free ticket. Like, that's really messed up. This may seem like a small inconvenience, but in reality, these events take a great deal of planning and time. It is worth noting that all other workshops, both public-facing and within the entertainment industry, will happily pay for professional artists to attend in exchange for their time, paying for flights and accommodation, as well as tickets to the event. It's an industry standard. Yeah, that is pretty well true. Usually they get some free family and friend tickets and some booth assistant worker free tickets too. But then again, if CFB is all like, look at what these artists are charging, they're only here for the money, they basically are just taking advantage of a free vendor booth, this is ridiculous, we need to, crack down on this. Like, if you look at it from that way, you're like, maybe throwing on a free thing too when they're already unhappy about the amount of money they perceive you to be taking home. It kind of makes sense. I still don't think they're 100% right about that in every case. But wait, it gets worse. The recent removal of even basic conveniences such as support during lunch breaks and a safe space to store equipment and gear highlights the low priority artists have become for event organizers and led to the formation of this letter. Yep, instead of just like approaching them or sending an email and being like, hey, some of us are unhappy, you don't want this to blow up in your face, can we fix this? They're just like, let's embarrass them and all sign it and get together and ambush them. Let's dogpile on them. That's productive and polite. Even if they're right, they look like a bunch of entitled whiny assholes to me, so good job, guys. Keep it classy. For context, here's a list of the services MTG artists could expect at GPs just a few years ago. Paid flights, paid hotel, break room, place to store our gear, often locked or secure, free large tables, Thursday dinner with organizers, Sunday group events with event staff. Here's a list of what we are offered in exchange for our time today. Smaller tables, dun dun dun, with an expensive upgrade option. Limited and unclear hotel sponsorship for some. That's fun. Then again, the GPs and PTs are so freaking disorganized, nobody knows. Even the pro players don't know like what's going on with the hotels and stuff, and when the sign up even is half the time. They don't even email them in time. It's just one big misrun shitfest. Never attend a GP. They are a disaster. So we are happy to be invited to work with you to make 2019 a better year. However, the relationship becomes increasingly unhealthy for artists. How can Magic Fest be they're really still going with that name? Be a celebration of the game without also celebrating its artists? Is that like rhetorical? Because you really could. I mean, you could just have art not be part of it. Boy, they really have a big opinion of themselves when, I mean, honestly, art is nice, but like, if playtesting actually did their job, I'd be patting them on the back a little bit harder. Let's just put it that way. Channel Fireball's email statement about looking forward to working with us and making it an even better year despite worsening conditions, oh, I didn't see that one, is quite plainly disingenuous. Oh, actually, I think I did see it. It's what I'm going to read at the end. I just thought this was first and that was second. I am actually not sure, but wait till you hear that one. Oh, that one's tasty. So blah, 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 worsening conditions, disingenuous. As costs rise, these events are becoming harder to justify. Good, because they're basically vacations and fan meetups. You should like be prepared to spend money to do that, or just don't go to it. Why am I not going to a GP in England or something? Like, among other reasons? Because I have no expectation to make any bit of money off of it. It's a fun trip. It's a vacation, kind of. I mean, somebody asked me to host a panel too, because it's like, oh, look, it's Des, which would never happen. This is such a fantasy land right now. This scenario is comically inaccurate, but I'd just be like, yeah, I'll do it just for fun. Why not? Hey. But to me, it'd be like, I'm going there to have fun. Like, you're either going there to have fun and it's a thing and you expend money on it, or you're going there to make money. I mean, people trying to get the best of both worlds, I get it. It makes sense. But I wouldn't expect CFB to pay for my plane ticket and hotel and all this crap. I'd just be like, I'm going there. It's out of my pocket. If I can afford it, I'll go. If I can't, I won't. And I can't, so I don't. Among other reasons. So it finishes with, we love the Magic the Gathering community, haha, but not as much as we love money and want to see it thrive. They didn't really write that, by the way. We do not wish to hurt attendance at Channel Fireball events. Really? Because this, really? Create division in the fan base. Really? Or otherwise be antagonistic. Really? I'm just saying I was getting that vibe a little bit, okay? So maybe it is all just entitled whining. Maybe they don't want to make everybody pissed. So their goal is to improve Channel Fireball events, which, good luck, that's impossible, with support for artists that attend to make them more sustainable for the artists who wish to appear as guests, to make events stably profitable, I don't think that's the correct phrase, for those who wish to attend as vendors, to ensure that busy artists are properly valued for their time, that literally makes no sense, to unify the fan base by giving attendees an event with well-supported and enthusiastic guests. And that's the end of the list. They never put the word "and" in there, so apparently they're not very good at writing, just drawing things. I love how they're like, okay, well, we'll show up if we can, but to ensure that busy artists, the ones that do a lot of work, are properly valued for their time, they're not showing up unless you basically pay them by the hour. Like, what the hell? Like, get out of here with that. Climb down out of your own ass. My gosh. So if I was like one of the world's best tennis players, I gotta say, oh, I'm not showing up to this, I'd say charity event, but that's different. This, I don't know, tennis related event, unless you pay me, because, I could be doing sponsorships that day. If I take any time off, my time is so valuable that you better pay me an appearance fee and cover everything. And I better be getting something out of this, because every day I wake up, I better have money thrown in my face because I'm so famous and important. Oh my gosh, that is such a cliche, accomplished artist, stupid opinion of themselves. We hope our voices of concern will spark changes that make these events more fun, engaging, and rewarding for everyone involved. Signed, Stephen Belden, Johan Bowden, oh, I'm going to pronounce all these wrong, Paul Scott Canavan, Jonas Desroe, Nils Ham, Susan Helmai, something like that. Lake Hurwitz, who the hell's first name is Lake? Somebody who just goes by Izzy, apparently. Tomas, and then with the Z on the end for no reason, Jedruzek. Titus Lunter. This is the best part of the video already. Ben Meyer. There we go. It's not spelled the way you think. Mitch Malloy. Slawomir Maniac? Really? His last name is Maniac with a K. It's like these people's parents wanted them to be artists. My gosh. Okay, I don't have a lot of knowledge of foreign names. I'm totally not being serious with this whole thing. But there's also, where did I leave off? I don't remember. Winona Nelson, Jason Rainville, Shreya Shetty, Chase Stone. Hey, I know him. Randy Vargas, Svetlin, that's not how you pronounce it. Velinov, Lars Grant West. He must be related to Northwest. Jim Nelson, pretty sure I got that one right. Chris Seaman. I'm not touching that one. Ryan Pancoast and Jim Pavelek, or something like that. You're welcome for massacring all your names. Now, one of these has a timestamp and the other one doesn't, but they're both from today. So all I know is 5 hours ago on Reddit, which seems late enough that it was a response. Some dude named Mashi Scanlon. I legit don't know who that is. I think he works for Channel Fireball or something. I mean, in one post, he referred to Channel Fireball as we, so okay. But honestly, this does seem like a reply, because it says, there was recently an article published discussing artists at Grand Prix and Future Magic Fest, and then ... Here's my response, basically, if I were to paraphrase. So basically, it's like blah, blah, blah. We like artists, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so an artist coming to Magic Fest can expect the following. And he also said this is open to any Magic artist at all. So he says you can expect the following: free table space at any event with an opportunity to purchase extra tables if desired. So they're doubling down on you get a small shitty table and you got to pay more if you want a bigger one. Which makes sense because you'd be selling more stuff. Scheduled lunch times when CFB event staff will watch over artist booths. So they're offering security to actually do their jobs for once. I wouldn't count on it though. And a free lunch, probably valued at about $3. That's fantastic. Oh, you wanted a secure place to store your stuff? Tough nuts. Hope you got a big backpack, which by the way, backpacks get stolen at GPs all the time. And number 3, a limited number of hotel rooms, 500 plus room nights in 2018, moving up to 1,000 room nights in 2019. I wonder if that's divided by 6 though, because there's 6 events, or if they mean at each, because that honestly seems like an entire hotel, which would cost like $1 million. So free hotel, no free travel or plane ticket. You get the same table as you did before, but they're willing to budge on the lunch issue and give you a sandwich or something. Is that even meeting them in the middle enough to even call it a compromise? I mean, they've literally just offered them a sandwich. A sandwich and booth security, which you probably could have called over yourself anyway because they're usually really bored. And then they absolutely assured you that maybe you'll get a free hotel room, maybe. The very next sentence is, I understand this model doesn't work for everyone. Here, let me point out what he's trying to be tactful about. If you're such a busy, famous, amazing artist with a giant opinion of yourself, well then clearly you're so busy with so many contracts and so many different places that you can take a couple days off and buy your own damn plane ticket, you rich asshole. But if you're not the world's highest paid, busiest artist in the entire world and you can actually afford to get away for a while because you work for yourself with flexible hours, then consider it a fun fan meetup vacation and pay your own damn way anyway. Here, have a hotel and a sandwich maybe. It's still kind of dickish, and like, would I like to see them properly treat the artist, give them a full travel expense and everything? I mean, yeah, I would stop short of just paying them a straight appearance fee. But if you're like, okay, we're just going to do the bare minimum to get you here, because if we got 50 artists here instead of 5, and we're spending, $1,000 per plane ticket round trip or something like that. I don't know. It depends if it's international or not. It'd be way cheaper to fly domestic. Maybe, like a couple day hotel and a flight is like $1,000 maybe. So we'll do that for like 10 artists. We'll spend $10,000 and we'll take it out of the ticket sales for the event, because people will walk in and have more to see. They'll be like, oh my gosh, there's 10 artists here. Cool. But honestly, I mean, what if 30 artists want to show up? Well, now it scales up pretty good, but is somebody going to be like, well, 10 artists versus 30? It's probably more about, is their favorite artist there? And yeah, it ups the odds, but at a certain point, if 100 artists wanted to show up, you got to cut it off somewhere. Now, they don't have quotas, they don't have limits as far as I know. I mean, they actually probably do. They just didn't say that. Would the 99th or the 100th artist really add that much more to it? Probably not. But the whole, hey, pay your own way and also do a little side workshop thing for free and bring your own materials and crap, I hope you sell enough to cover it. Like, that's messed up. So they both have points, but they're both being dicks. So who's right, who's wrong, what should change, how should they do it, who should pay for what is the solution to this problem? It's screw GPs, screw Magic Fest, ignore them, don't watch them, don't go to them. They're just a dumpster fire. It's not directed in any way to the artists, it's directed to you guys. Just, these events are a complete disaster. Just don't even bother. They're expensive, they're overpriced, and they're infinitely worse than like an actual like Comic-Con or Gen Con or something. Although Gen Con, you'll probably get attacked by some liberal nutjob. Oh, then subsequently attacked in other ways by the liberal nutjobs who actually run the con. So artists, you aren't entitled to a damn thing. Stop thinking that you could just show up and automatically have money thrown in your face. That's ridiculous. And if you don't like the scenario, then don't spend your time and money going to these events. It sounds like your whole motivation to still show up, if this is such a shit show, is because you want to. Well, if you want to go travel somewhere for fun, that involves money. If you don't have free time or money, be better and faster at your job and get paid more. Astral Channel Fireball, what the hell? You're not even giving them a way to not get their cash boxes stolen if they gotta get up and take a piss for 5 minutes? What the hell? And what's with the pay your own way, get your own hotel system, and also you're gonna be scheduled to do these side panels for free, have fun, enjoy your free ticket? Like, who thought of that? Who approved that one? They're all dicks and I don't care because Magic Fest is bullshit and I'm never gonna go to one. So how's that for a video editing? I'm Desolator Magic. Peace out, bitches.